Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation and Kentuckians everywhere, I want to weigh in on prison reform. And what I'm really talking about more than anything else is sentencing. It's all part of the Criminal Justice Center. The amount of money that we spend in corrections is extraordinary. And I just want to share this with all of you. It's no secret that I've been in jail twice. Once for not showing up on a traffic ticket that a lawyer in my office was supposed to handle in Denton, and they were very anxious to come pick me up the same day. And I was in jail, I think, for 2 hours. So I was there for 2 hours, long 2 hours. And then the other time was the famous contempt when I stood in front of a very evil judge, Mark Schweikert, and called him out for not giving the Durrani victims their timely trials. And I served 8 days of a 15-day jail sentence for contempt in Hamilton County Justice Center. That was the longest 8 days of my life. I think that if you've experienced what it's like to be in jail, it gives you a perspective like no others. It's like most experiences. You have the experience, you have the experience. And it is clear to me that generally we have a disparity in prison sentences that makes 0 sense. So I want to give you my general maxims and principles that I would want to apply to prison reform that would save Kentucky money and would make things a lot better. Number one, on the lower end of the spectrum, prison sentences are way too long. We're talking about good people who do bad things, nonviolent offenders, even an isolated violence offense where nobody's killed, okay? Do you know what it's like to, I think every judge ought to have to, as part of their judicial training, spend 1 day in their local jail, 24 hours, as part of their training. It'd be interesting. 1 day, 24 hours. Because the sentences are way too long. A year, can you imagine what a year is like in jail? Having served 8 days, my God, a year? Can't fathom it. So we need shorter prison sentences for the stuff that ought to be short. Then you have what I believe is the most ridiculous sentence ever created by corrections, the life sentence. Why society would house somebody for life makes no sense to me whatsoever. Now, I'm not a murdering person. I've never killed anybody. Don't want to kill anybody. But I'm somebody that believes that the main purpose of corrections, if you studied criminal justice, I almost got a criminal justice degree. Criminal justice is punishment and reconciliation with society. Those are the two goals, all right? Keeping somebody in for life makes no sense. Those life sentences should be 20 years or 25 years. And if it's so bad, there ought to be more death penalties. There really should. For example, you know this, I advocate the death sentence for, we got to create some special standard to make sure that we know they're guilty as hell of harm, physical and mental harm to a child that destroys that child's life. If you rape and molest a child, you destroyed that child's life, you should be put to death. So what I think is we should have shorter jail sentences, and then on life sentence, we should do away with the life. It should be 20 or 25 years. Really? Why life? Makes no sense to me whatsoever. And then there should be more death penalty. And let me tell you what, where I would go with more death penalty, we know who they are, the animals. It might be, unfortunately, due to their backgrounds, sad as it might be. It might be due to their mental health. I mean, whatever the situation is, a society cannot allow violent animal criminals to walk amongst us to cause us harm. Can't accept it. Can't accept it. Burglary, nobody ges hurt. put them in jail. Violent killers? Are you kidding me? And why should somebody who commits burglary where nobody got hurt or a bank robbery where nobody got hurt serve life? Makes no sense to me. But I tell you right now, people that would cause kids, adults, others physical harm, killers, stone cold killers, why house them for life? In their life. I believe that. What I will guarantee you, what I'm advocating is what most people in our country will agree with. Most people will say, that makes sense, and it doesn't exist anywhere. Think about that. It's the problem with politics, folks. I'm bringing a different set of cards to play as your governor. And this is another example of it. We do not need long prison sentences for nonviolent people where a year, 5 years, whatever, trust me, that's an eternity. We need to protect ourselves from monsters. We need to do death penalty for people who cause harm to children and destroy their lives. We need to do away with life sentences. By the way, here's another thing. Matt Bevin was so reckless and angry, mean, and nasty with the pardon power. I still believe in that pardon power. People want to take it away and all that. No, it has to stay there. You just have to keep honorable men in the governor's office that know how to use their discretion to right a wrong that maybe the system missed out on. So I'm not for changing that at all. Matt Bevin violated that. And the issue is whether or not, if Matt Bevin gets in the governor's race, is that hangs over his head in that decision. He's also got a huge personal problem. He knows it. People close to him know about it. Whether or not he wants to run in light of that big personal problem and issue that he has. But anyway, that's my position on prisons generally and sentencing. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.